All right, let's talk about something a lot of us, well, we really struggle with it, setting boundaries. But today, we're going to flip the script on this whole idea. We're not talking about building walls to keep people out. No, we're going to look at boundaries as the tool you use to build the right bridges to find real, authentic connections. Okay, let's get into it. So let me ask you something. Do you ever get that feeling that you're just kind of there? You're in a conversation, you're nodding along, you're agreeing to stuff you don't really want to do, and all the while, your real thoughts, your real feelings, they're just locked away inside. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, hey, you are definitely not alone. And that feeling right there, that's what leads us straight into our first big idea, what I call the polite NPC trap. It's this whole cycle of trying to play it safe. But, and this is the crazy part, it's that exact thing that keeps us from making the genuine connections we're all looking for. So what is a polite background NPC? Well, think of it like this. It's someone who is so absolutely terrified of saying the wrong thing, of possibly offending someone, that they just hide their true self completely. The main goal is just keep the peace, don't rock the boat. But what happens is you become this generic, agreeable character instead of, a real, messy, interesting human being. So what's the real cost of being this NPC? It's not just about feeling like you don't have a voice. When you're constantly playing it safe, you actually prevent the kind of vulnerability that's needed to build real, authentic trust. It creates this invisible distance between you and other people. And ultimately, you end up stopping yourself from building the very connections you were trying so hard to protect in the first place. Okay, so if that's the problem, what on earth is the solution? This is where we get to a really powerful mindset shift. We have to start seeing boundaries differently. They're not a wall to keep everyone out. Think of them as a filter, designed to let the right people in. Just look at the difference here. The old way of thinking, it's all driven by this fear of offending people. It's about trying to force every single relationship to work, mostly by just avoiding any kind of conflict. But the new goal, totally different. It's about filtering for compatibility. It's about letting your real self show up and seeing who actually vibes with that, and then building real, solid trust with those people. And here is the absolute key takeaway. If you set a boundary, you say what you need, and someone has a bad reaction, that's not a failure on your part. It's just data. It's a sign that, hey, maybe you two aren't that compatible. And you don't have to force it to work. It's totally okay to just be nice and move on. This isn't about rejection, it's about finding real alignment. All right, so knowing all this is one thing, right? Actually doing it is a whole other ballgame. So let's get practical. In this next section, we're going to talk about two very specific tools you can put in your toolkit to start breaking these old habits. Tool number one sounds so simple, but I promise you it is incredibly powerful. You just have to learn how to walk away. Seriously. Not every boundary you set needs a 10-minute speech defending it. You see, when you set a boundary, some people are going to want to argue about it. They're going to debate you. But here's the secret. You don't have to engage. You can actually choose to just walk away from a fight, even if you're 100% in the right. Because your own peace of mind is so much more valuable than winning an argument with someone who just doesn't get it. Okay, tool number two. This one tackles what is, for many of us, the biggest hurdle of all, that battle that happens right up here in our own heads. It's about breaking that cycle of getting stuck overthinking every single word. I mean, does this look familiar? It's the classic overthinking loop. An actual, authentic thought pops into your head. And then, instantly, your brain starts filtering it. Is it safe? Is it polite enough? Then the worry kicks in. What will they think of me? And what's the result? You just stay quiet. Breaking this cycle is the whole key to setting boundaries. It's about filtering less and just speaking more. Which brings us to our final section, and honestly, this might be the most important piece of the whole puzzle. This journey isn't about becoming a perfect, flawless boundary setter overnight. No way. It's about learning to embrace the messy and, sometimes super awkward process of growth. So let's say you do it, you try to set a boundary, and it comes out all clunky and weird. You feel awkward, maybe even a little bit cringe. The most important thing is to not see that as a failure. That feeling, that awkwardness, that is the feeling of you practicing a new skill. It's a sign that you are literally rewiring their brain. Let this be your new mantra. Seriously, awkward is the new progress. The goal isn't to be smooth and perfect right out of the gate. The goal is to be brave enough to be awkward. because that feeling is the clearest evidence you have that you are moving forward. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What is one small, super low-stakes boundary that you can practice setting this week? It doesn't have to be some huge, dramatic confrontation. Maybe it's just saying no to a tiny request, or sharing an opinion you normally just keep to yourself. What's your first practice rep going to be?